Page 251, question 5, still playing with factorising quadratic expressions. We're still not solving, but that's the easy part actually. Right, look at 5a. It says 2 plus x minus an x squared. I've got to factorise it completely. Well, I don't want that like that. I want it round the right way, so I want minus x squared first, plus the x plus a 2. Now we're going to start doing this. Right, this is ugly, isn't it? To make minus x squared, you need an x there and a minus x, like so. It's got to be done. The only way to make 2 is 2 times 1. I may need to switch these around the other way, I don't know yet. Let's just see what happens. X times x minus x squared. X times 2, I think I'll be positive there, makes 2x's. Let's just write it down. And 1 times minus x makes minus x. So I'm really happy with that, because 2x minus x gives me the 1x there. So that's fine, that needs to be positive. And of course 1 times 2 makes 2, so that's happy. A little bit ugly, isn't it? So x plus 1 with minus x plus 2. If you want to pretty it up a little bit, you could do this, but you don't have to. You can call it x plus 1 with 2, put the positive value first, and then minus x. Because it says minus x, doesn't it? So minus x plus 2 is like saying 2 take away x. So it's tidier, more stylish, but that is not wrong. So I'll put a tick by it. But this is even sweeter. Alright. Now if you're not sure about flipping this round the other way, don't worry about it. Don't go risking a mark by writing it wrongly and accidentally writing, for example, 2 plus x, when it is in fact a negative x. Right? Quite scary. Definitely grade A. B is much the same sort of thing. I try C, it looks more challenging, so this is C. I've got here 28, it's all backwards, look, plus 10x, take away 2x squared. Write it round the right way, minus x squared plus 10x, what should we do, plus 28. Now look, factorise it completely. I've got a 2, a 10 and a 28. Let's take a 2 out first, shall we? So we take out a 2, I'm left with minus x squared, I'm left with 5x, and I'm left with 14. Now I can do this differently. If I was to take out a negative 2, then, well, it could get rather complicated. Let me just leave it like that for now, because it can be factorised as it stands. So that's the first step then. And now I'm going to do the usual thing, prepare my 2 brackets for the final 2 factors. Well, how do we get x squared then? X and x. The trouble is one of them's negative, so we'll have a minus x there and an x there. How do you make 14? That's likely to be, oh, I don't know, 2 times 7, I think, because 2's and 7's have a difference of 5, and there's a 5 there looking at us. So let's just try putting a 7 there and a 2 there and see what happens. Again, I know my 2's happily been extracted as a common factor to all these 3 terms. Let's just try it out. Minus x times 7 will give me minus 7x. Well, that's not going to work because I've got a positive 5 there. So if I call that negative, then I'll end up with positive 7x's. And if that's going to be negative, this has to be negative 2, because minus 2 times minus 7 will make plus 14. Now let's see if that works well. Well, minus x times x is minus x squared. Minus x times minus 7 is plus 7x. And minus 2 times x is minus 2x. So I've got 7x minus 2x is 5x. And minus 2 times minus 7 is 14. Just tidy this up a little bit. So that's that, and that's that, and this is going to be 2. We can call this, what should we call this one? Minus x minus 2. In fact, there's nothing else to talk about really. It's a little ugly. Let me see if I can factorise it a different way. So if I work in green now, from this step I want to take out a minus 2 outside the bracket. Alright, so let's just go negative 2 to see what happens as an alternative solution to this. So if I take out a minus 2 from that, I go x squared. If I take out a minus 2 from that, it's got to be minus 5x, hasn't it? Because minus 2 times minus 5 will make plus 10. And if I take out a minus 2 from that, I end up with negative 14. So let's just factorise that and see what we get. see if we end up with this, in a different sort of way. So that's that. Minus 2 has been decided upon already. We'll do that. Again, I'm just experimenting on video now. There's probably two different solutions that are equivalent. Well, this is easy. X and x makes x squared. How do you make 14? It's still 7 and 2. X squared. If I go for minus 7, then I've got minus 7x. If I go for plus 2, I go minus 7x plus 2x is minus 5x. And 2 times minus 7 is minus 14. And I have to say, I really fancy this because I've got x plus 2 there, x minus 7 there, but negative 2 factor outside. Now, this is just as good. What I'm going to do is pause the video and see what the answer book says to see what AQA seem to prefer. But this is perfectly correct. It all works out really well. Let's have a look. Take a 2 out of that. I'm just testing myself again now. 2 out of that. No, it's all fine actually. That first, 10x plus 28. No, it works really good. So I'm going to pause now and get back to you straight away. That's F9 to pause, isn't it? What I'm going to do is experiment with rearranging this yet a different way, and I would like a different colour actually. So something that's hopefully this orange will stand out okay. Now from this point onwards, now look, there is oh, that's horrible. Forget it. Let's go back to yellow. Let's just try this one again. 2 is not negotiable. The minus x squared can be split off into, if I make that positive and this one negative, we'll see where we go. So that's right. Now I've got x times minus x is minus x squared, which is okay. Now how are we going to make 14? It's still going to be 7 and 2. So I'll put a 7 there and a 2 there. Let's just regroup. X times minus x is minus x squared, so that's fine. X times 7 will be 7x. It needs to be positive because I want to aim for plus 5x's, and therefore 2 times minus x will give me the minus 2x's. So 7x minus 2x will be plus 5x. So that needs to be positive. And 2 times 7 makes 14. Now if we tidy this up, we end up with x plus 2, and again put the positive value of 7 first and then the minus x, and that's the one that's in the answer book. But look, I just went down a different route. Again, this is an awful lot prettier than that one, what with the minus x minus 2, but in terms of factorising and then remultiplying out, you will get back to this. So there's 3 possible answers and they're all equivalent to each other. There's this one, there's that one that we've tidied up, and with the minus 2 as a factor, nothing wrong with that, it's okay. And there's this one as well. All of these are equivalent to each other and they're perfectly good. So I will now turn over another page and carry on with these dodgy little things, and whatever I make it, that'll be the answers that go. Alright, so that was C already. Now what about D? D looks really easy, look at that. 25x squared minus 16. It's the difference of 2 squares. Well, 25 is basically 5 squared, and 16 is 4 squared, and that's basically x squared. So we can split it off quite confidently into 2 big brackets like that. Well, that's going to be 5x and 5x makes 25x squareds, and 4 4s makes 16. Really easy. One's positive, one's negative. Alright, difference of 2 squares. Peasy. It makes C look even harder than normal. Now what about E? E's not a problem. I've got 1.44 minus, x squared. Missed that. So let's just do it pretty and start again. Again, 1.44 should remind you of 144. So 1.44 x squared minus 1.21, that should remind you of 121. So here we go. We know our 11 and 12 times table. So 1.44 is going to be 1.2 times 1.2. X times x makes x squared. 11 times 11 is 121. So 1.1 times 1.1, the difference of 2 squares. There you go. So that's it. So effectively I split this up into 1.2 times 1.2. I split this up into 1.1 times 1.1, and I split this up into x times x. Alright? And there's all my components there. Alright, that's beautiful. Dead easy. Now, I'm now going to attempt G. It doesn't look too terrifying, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So this is G, and this will be the last one in this video. and I will prepare a fourth video for 17.1 because it's two really challenging questions by the look of them. I really fancy doing them. Anyway, this is G. Write it as it is, minus 2x squared. I want to write the 2x squared first, well, minus 2x squared anyway, then the 4x, and then the 30. Now, let's try and get the best factor we can out of this. If I take 2 out of each rather than the negative 2, I should end up with a prettier answer. So if I take out 2 from that, I'm going to go 2 bracket, that'll be minus x squared plus 2x plus 15. Easy. Just taking 2's out of each of these 3 terms there. Now, factorise this little thing here. So 2 bracket, bracket, etc. I've learnt from my previous mistake. It wasn't a mistake, it worked. So I want my positive x there and my minus x on this side. How are we going to make 15? Well, I think 3 5s, because 3 and 5 would give me like a difference of 2. So let's just plonk a 5 there and a 3 there and see where we go. X times minus x squared. X times, that's going to have to be plus 5, because I want the plus 5 to outweigh the minus 3 x's. So that's going to be 5x. If that's positive, then 3 times minus x will be minus 3x. So I've got 5 x's, take away 3 x's, that's 2 x's. And look again, 5 times 3, 3 times 5 is 15, so that works. Now, again, let's just tidy this up a little bit so it looks absolutely brand new. So that's x plus 3, all nice and positive, and here, let's put the positive 5 first and subtract x. Again, this is technically beautifully correct, but this is absolutely stylish and elegant and graceful and even more correct. So that was 5G, that was totally unscary. I will stop the video because the remaining few questions involve me drawing a couple of pictures. So I'll draw them first, I don't waste time in the video, with you watching me draw a stupid picture, and then we'll just do them, alright? So end of video, and definitely watch this one a few times, alright?